Typography is the art and technique of arranging type in order to make language visible. The arrangement of type involves the selection of typefaces, font size, line length, leading, adjusting the space between the groups of the letters and adjusting the space between the pairs of the letters, etc. But to do all the arrangements mentioned earlier, we have to play with an entity called type. The word type means letter form. It is used both individually and collectively to refer to the letters of an alphabet as well as anything else used to create words, sentences, typographic displays and corporate identity. If you are a type designer, you should have the basic knowledge about the characteristic components. First, let's look at where the type lives in. We say that type sits on the baseline. The next important term is based on the height of the lowercase x, that is called the x height. Its body width is invisible boundary around the shape of the letter. The parts of the letters that rise above the x height are called ascenders. The parts that extend below the baseline are called descenders, and together these are called extenders. So, the invisible boundaries of the extenders are called the ascender line and the descender line. The cap height will vary based upon the typeface. It might be same as the ascender line or shorter. Now, let us talk about the letter parts. Remember, serifs are the little peak extensions that are finishing strokes of the letter. Some other common names for the parts of the letters. All the round letters have bowls. Look at this B. The round part is called the bowl and the tall vertical stroke is the stem. Strokes that extend from the stem are called arms. For example, on this E, a lot of the letters like body parts. See how the ear of the G sticks out like the real ear. Your spine has a curveness just like this S spine, and just like your shoulder on the M curves, the leg extends and at the base of the leg is the foot. Just like cat's tail, the tail of the Q often hangs below the baseline. A crossbar is horizontal stroke in the middle of a letter, like this one on the A. A cross stroke crosses over stem like this F. But on E, we have what's called bar. Any enclosed space in a letter called counter space. On some letters, you will see a spur, like cowboy spur on boot. Over the J and I, the dot in typographic term is a jot. The end point of the letter is called terminal, and the terminal of the F is known as a beak. The G has a nice loop and the connecting stroke is called link. When two strokes come to a point like this in A, it is called an apex. Here you can see the capital M has two apexes. I also want to point out common names for the forms of the lowercase a and g. They can be single story or double story. One more term is ligature. A ligature is a connection between a specific pair of letters or, in some instances, three letters. A ligature smooths the connection to improve legibility. This might seem like you have learned a lot. Now, let's create a type letter. Draw the guidelines so that you won't mess up things. Now, you start with a loose outline sketching of your letter form. Make sure that your sketch shouldn't cross the guidelines. Once you are done with the loose sketching, draw the solid outline to your letter form. Make sure that you are following the basic principles of the type design. Now, just fill up the empty space with your interesting texture. That's it. You are done with the sketching part. Now, get a scanned copy of your design and transform it into a software that you are expertised in. You can make small changes by using anchor points, and you can play with the texture and shape of the letter forms.